YouTube. Beverly again is back. I'm back for another exciting chapter snippets from my book, Jezebel, which is soon going to be a blockbuster hit. Okay. And this is the best book that you will ever read for 2022 and beyond. So now today we're going to head into chapter 21. So let's get started and no time to lose. Let's go. Ernest was generous in their divorce settlement and agreed to a five-figure payoff to conclude their 12-year marriage. Corinne enlisted the services of an architectural firm to design her dream house in the lush parish of Barbados. Architects designed a modern two-story house with tons of windows and a marbled foyer. The home had 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and pretty gardens. They moved into the palatial house in 1993, and Corinne welcomed a new life as a single woman. Clyde became an integral part of Corinne's life after her divorce was finalized. Romance blossomed between the two, and he became a permanent fixture in the home after Corinne moved in. Corinne's prejudice against Estelle and Estelle's family was tolerated by Clyde because he didn't approve of interracial relationships. He was a white Bajan man, a white Caribbean man. Corinne no longer had to tolerate Estelle's relatives if she didn't want to. She was no longer obligated to take Gezi to visit them. Ernest could do that when Jezebel was in his care. What a relief it was. Yikes. Oh well. What can you do? Clyde's presence in their lives proved an irritant to Gezi. She loathed him. And I'm going to skip over to a little bit more action. Gezi was always the first to wake on Saturdays. The first thing she did on this particular Saturday was to switch on her stereo to listen to rap music. Girl gonna get her groove on in the morning and get that body pumping. Gezi pumped up the volume just for the fun of it, and Clyde stormed out of the bedroom to have a word with the inconsiderate child whom he loathed also. Can't you see we're trying to sleep? Clyde yelled at Gezi. No, how can I? I'm in here and you were in there, remember? Gezi replied. She sucked her teeth and rolled her eyes. You know what? I've had just about enough of your nonsense. That stereo is coming out right now, Clyde informed Gezi in an impatient manner. You better leave my stuff alone, Gezi hollered in an agitated tone. Clyde angrily entered the room and unplugged the stereo. He carried the stereo and speakers out of the room and pelted the equipment out the front door. What a brute. No, that's mine. My daddy got it for me, Gezi cried. The sound of glass and steel being shattered to pieces roused Corinne out of her sleep. She rushed out of the bedroom and demanded an explanation from Clyde. Clyde, what have you done? Corinne shouted. I've had enough, Corinne. I asked her to turn the music down and she insulted me. I threw that piece of junk out the door where it belongs, Clyde curtly informed Corinne. What? You had no right to throw it out. It was a gift from her father, Corinne admonished Clyde in a shrill voice. Well, Ernest has deep pockets. I'm sure he can buy her another. Clyde responded nonchalantly. Gezi flew into a violent rage and shoved Corinne in the chest. She shoved her mom in the chest. Ugh! Wow, things are getting pretty heated in this household. I don't know about you guys, but when you're a single mom and you have kids and you invite the wrong romantic interest or the wrong man into your life, it can really turn your household upside down. And the damage, it causes between parent and child and step parent and child is awful. So just a word out there to anyone, man or woman, and you have a child and you have a significant other who is not that child's biological parent, please consider both sides, try to keep peace, and remember your first obligation should be to your kid. I'm moving on. Gezi, I hate you, Corinne. I hate your guts. Gezi screamed and ran back to her room. Wow. Imagine your kids screaming they hate you. They hate you for all the turmoil that they're going through right now. A little bit longer. Let's see what goes on. I'm just going to skip over a few pages. Where's Gezi? Ernest demanded. In her room, Clyde replied and fidgeted from one foot to the other. Nervous time. Coward. Ernest marched into the home and brushed past Clyde. Clyde was no match for 6'3" Ernest, and he moved aside to let him in. Ernest stormed through the house and beeline to Gezi's room where he found Corinne knocking on the door, begging her to come out. What's going on, Corinne? Ernest asked in a testy voice. Clyde and Gezi had a disagreement, Corinne replied nervously. And? Ernest pressed her to continue. And he threw her stereo out. Corinne responded with her head down. Ernest looked at her in disgust and attempted to coax Gezi out of the room. Gezi, it's Daddy. Pack an overnight bag and come on out, Ernest pleaded with his child. Okay, Daddy, Gezi tearfully replied. Ernest angrily made his way toward Clyde and found him standing by the front door. Clyde looked at Ernest with fear in his eyes. He was suddenly ashamed of what he had done, and he didn't want to have a physical altercation with Ernest. Clyde, my daughter's emotional well-being is paramount to me. That stereo was worth $500, and I expect to get every penny back. Is that understood? Ernest spoke in a measured tone. Yeah, I'll pay for it. Man, I lost my temper. You know how kids can make you do that, Clyde replied in a tight voice as he attempted to establish camaraderie with Ernest. I'll be back tomorrow for my money, Ernest advised Clyde in a haughty tone. Daddy! Gezi ran to her father and jumped in his arms. Are you ready? Ernest asked her. Yes, Daddy, I don't want to come back to this stupid house, Gezi replied. Gezi, please don't say that. This is your home. You live here, Corinne begged and wrung her hands together. I don't want to live with you and that foolish man, Gezi uttered those words with such conviction. Corinne was taken aback. Gezi, Corinne stammered. Let's go, Ernest stated, and they left the house. Well, you know, this chapter in particular is really close to my heart because, like I said, it's about family. And we all hear stories out there about, you know, kids who may not end up so well in life because of a step parent that just couldn't stand them because they kind of resent a mother-child relationship that they found when they entered the relationship. That happens all the time. So many households where step kids are just not, they just don't have that place. They just don't have that comfort zone when they're living with a step parent. So to all you step parents out there, try to be nice to your step kids. And you don't even have to be a parent, but just be human. Just treat them with love and respect because that's all they want, and things will be so much better. And that woman or that man that you married that had the child before you got with them, let me tell you, they will love you beyond measure. Okay, so go ahead and get Gezi. I was going to go into a little bit more, but this chapter is, to me, it's very emotional because we see a breakdown in a relationship between mother and child, and that should not be, especially because of another adult that you invited into the home and just wasn't a good fit. So anyway, I'll see you in the next chapter. Bye.